Let's now shift our attention over to Jammu and Kashmir. Amid criticism over India keeping the Union territory cut off, around 15 foreign envoys from Latin America, Africa and the ASEAN region are being hosted by the Indian government. The envoys have now reached Jammu after travelling to Srinagar yesterday. India's External Affairs Ministry spokesperson Ravish Kumar said that the visiting envoys held meetings with security officials and civil society members. Now, the envoys also met local media, followed by interaction with political leaders. Ravish Kumar said that the objective of the visit was to give a first-hand experience of the situation in Jammu and Kashmir to the envoys.
The objective of the visit was for the envoys to see first-hand the efforts which have been made by the government to normalize the situation. And also, basically to see how things have progressed and how the normalcy has been restored to a large extent since the developments related to Article 370 in August. And there have been several steps which have been taken by the local administration towards that objective.
The envoys also interacted with the local bodies and NGOs. According to the envoys, the people totally rejected Pakistan's disinformation about the bloodshed in the state, praising the government for handling the aftermath of abrogation well. One of the envoys speaking to WION said that there has been some improvement since 5th of August. While some locals agreed that there were difficulties, they said it was necessary to maintain order. The locals also exposed Pakistan's hypocrisy and desperation, blaming them for the killings and saying that the people of Jammu and Kashmir won't give an inch to Pakistan. The envoys also witnessed complete normalcy in the state with open shops and traffic and people on the streets of Srinagar. So this indeed is a big development happening in the Union territory of Jammu and Kashmir. Remember, the state had been under a lockdown for almost 6 months. It was on December 31st that the SMS services had been resumed, and it was yesterday that India's External Affairs Ministry spokesperson Ravish Kumar also announced that the visiting envoys held meetings with security officials and civil society members to get in a first-hand experience and sense of how life has resumed in the Union territory. Ravish Kumar also stated that the objective of the visit was to give a first-hand experience of that situation, and the envoys have already interacted with local bodies and NGOs yesterday in Srinagar. It's important to note that the envoy has now arrived in Jammu. Let's quickly go across to our correspondent Siddhant Sipal, who's joining us with the latest updates from New Delhi. Siddhant, it's important to talk about the fact that even though Kashmir is India's internal matter, would it be fair to say that the interaction of the foreign envoys with the people of Kashmir has helped in demolishing Pakistan's disinformation about a bloodbath in Jammu and Kashmir?
Well, yeah, that's the aim of the government here in New Delhi to send a strong message to the world community that when it comes to the disinformation campaign by Islamabad, that there is so-called bloodshed in the Union territory of Jammu and Kashmir after the decision of 5th of August is not something that is reality. And in fact, the envoys spoke to WION exclusively late last night and talked about their interaction with the locals. They primarily said that there were three basic topics of discussions. One was the demand of statehood, second was restoration of internet, and third was development, by and large focusing on peace. There were other officials present, Indian government officials present, who also told WION that Pakistan was also raised by the locals. They said that as Pakistan has been claiming that there is bloodshed, that is not the reality, and all the killings which have been taking place in the past in the Union territory of Jammu and Kashmir were done because of what Pakistan has been trying to do, especially when it comes to cross-border terrorism. But an important confidence-building measure by New Delhi, reaching out to foreign envoys, because we have seen criticism for New Delhi in last 5 months coming, saying that New Delhi has restricted internet, New Delhi is imposing a lot of harsh measures, but this will help the envoys get a real picture. Today, of course, they will be interacting with the Pandits, the Kashmiri Pandits in Jammu.
All right, a first-hand experience is what these foreign envoys are receiving. Let's also get in a sense of what's actually happening in Jammu, because I'm joined in by our correspondent Ishan Vani. He's joining me live from Srinagar at the moment. Ishan, what have been the key takeaways from the delegation's visit to Srinagar yesterday? And now that they have arrived in Jammu, what can we expect during their visit here? And how has their visit actually panned out so far?
Well, extremely crucial visit, first of all, that these envoys, including an American ambassador, came to Kashmir Valley. We haven't seen such progress being made in terms of diplomacy, given the fact that these ambassadors were brought to Kashmir to give a first-hand assessment of the situation, and interactions were made with the NGOs, the politicians who are just now forming. It's a progress that they are forming a third front, but this has come at a time when both the National Conference and PDP presidents and former chief ministers of Jammu and Kashmir, including senior-most leader Farooq Abdullah, Umar Abdullah and Mahbub Mufti, are under detention. But what we know so far, that how the meeting unfolded was that several of these youth raised the issue of internet blockade in the Kashmir Valley. The politicians, demanded there should be a restoration of the statehood to the valley, which has now become a union territory. And apart from that, there was a talk between the journalists and these ambassadors, where journalists were asked by U.S. ambassador to India that how has the governance unfolded in the last 70 years in Kashmir. To which several of them said that they are unsatisfied with the sort of politics that is unfolding in the Kashmir Valley. But apart from that, you have to understand that these envoys were brought in from the Lal Chowk, is the city centre, which has remained shut for almost 4 months, and after that it was partially opened. And yesterday we saw that it was completely open and traffic was normal. So to give them a sense of normalcy and how the situation has really changed since August 5 when the big decision was taken. But the issue of internet blockade remains huge, given the fact that in the modern age a lot of people are dependent on the internet, and that is what formed a core part of those people who met these envoys in Kashmir Valley. In Jammu, we're expecting them today to meet the Kashmiri Pandit diaspora, which are actually residing in the colonies after they were actually, they had to leave Kashmir Valley due to the militancy back in the 90s. So they will meet them and get an idea to how they have been, taken out from the Kashmir Valley, and they had to live in these camps in Delhi, in Jammu and other parts of the world. But at the same time, yesterday, Governor Girish Chandra Murmu held a detailed meeting with them, where top officials from the army, police were present. They told them the progress that the governance is making in J&K and how the things are unfolding. Security assessment has also been done. They have been given a sense that how really New Delhi was able to contain the situation using the measures like imposing restrictions, blocking the mobile phone, and something it can be a model to study that how there was no bloodshed in the Kashmir Valley, and they were able to contain the situation, which would otherwise may have turned violent if there were protests in the state.
Absolutely. One key takeaway, of course, has indeed been of this visit is to demolish the sort of disinformation that has been spread by Pakistan as far as the Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir is concerned. For now, thank you so much, Siddhant Sibal and Ishan Vani, for joining us on this live broadcast. We'll keep coming back to you for more updates.